the healed heal, elevated consciousness, and quantum leadership. Throughout our exploration of kingdom relationships, immediate presence, and consciousness as divine fractal, we arrive at a profound truth about spiritual maturity: the healed heal, the unhealed. Higher consciousness serves lower consciousness not through resistance or judgment, but through divine resonance that naturally elevates through loving awareness. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. Romans 8:14-17. This maturity enables us to parent lower consciousness as spiritual children, observing without emotional reactivity, correcting behavior while affirming divine nature, maintaining boundaries while offering unconditional love. Like walking into a dark room, we are not vexed at the darkness, but simply turn on the light. Chapter 1. Elevation through resonance. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. John 12:32. Christ reveals the fundamental principle of consciousness elevation. Higher frequency attracts rather than pushes. Elevation creates gravitational pull that draws lower consciousness upward through resonant attraction rather than forceful correction. From our understanding of divine resonance as the foundation for kingdom relationships, this principle extends to all consciousness interactions. When individual consciousness achieves stable divine alignment through immediate presence and loving awareness, it naturally lifts surrounding consciousness through its elevated frequency. This operates through the quantum physics principles we've explored. Higher consciousness generates quantum mass through divine alignment that creates gravitational fields affecting nearby consciousness. These fields don't force change, but create attractive pull toward higher frequencies that lower consciousness can choose to follow. Yeshua demonstrated this throughout his ministry. He didn't resist or condemn the woman at the well, the adulteress, or tax collectors. His elevated consciousness created space where lower frequency could recognize its own potential for divine alignment. His presence itself served as invitation rather than condemnation. The practice of inhaling immediate presence and exhaling faith, the divine breath rhythm, maintains the elevated frequency necessary for this attractive force. When consciousness breathes in harmony with Source, it radiates divine frequency that naturally draws others seeking authentic spiritual expression. Chapter 2. Shepherding over resistance. Lower vibration consciousness should be guided, shepherded, not resisted. Resistance creates interference patterns that reinforce the very frequencies we hope to transform. But shepherding, maintaining higher frequency while lovingly guiding, creates resonant pull toward divine alignment. This distinction transforms how we approach consciousness that operates at frequencies incompatible with kingdom principles. Rather than fighting against lower consciousness, we maintain our own divine alignment while providing guidance for those ready to elevate. Paul exemplifies this shepherding approach in his letters. I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet have ye not many fathers. For in Christ Jesus I have begotten you through the gospel. 1 Corinthians 4:14-15. He relates as spiritual father, guiding children toward maturity, rather than as judge, condemning failure. From our understanding of the path of least action, shepherding represents the most efficient approach to consciousness elevation. fighting against lower consciousness expends enormous energy while often reinforcing resistance. Maintaining elevated frequency while offering guidance allows divine gravity to do the work of attraction and elevation. The divine breath rhythm sustains this shepherding posture. Inhaling immediate presence maintains our own divine alignment regardless of surrounding consciousness frequencies. Exhaling faith releases the outcome to divine orchestration rather than trying to force consciousness elevation through human effort. Chapter 3. Focus on desired behavior. Focus on desired behavior, that which is in resonance with the Most High. This principle redirects attention from condemning what we don't want toward manifesting what we do want through consciousness alignment. From quantum consciousness understanding, what we observe and focus upon gains quantum mass and manifestation power. When we focus on undesired behavior through resistance and condemnation, we actually strengthen those patterns through our attention. But when we focus on desired behavior aligned with divine principles, we create quantum mass that attracts manifestation of those elevated patterns. Yeshua demonstrated this consistently. When addressing the woman caught in adultery, he didn't focus on her sin, but on her potential. "Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more." John 8:11. His attention redirected toward desired behavior, living without sin, rather than dwelling on past failure. This connects to our exploration of quantum currency and consciousness, creating reality through observation. Communities practicing focus on desired, divine-aligned behaviors create quantum gravitational fields that naturally attract those behaviors while making lower frequency patterns increasingly uncomfortable and unsustainable. The practical application within kingdom communities means celebrating and amplifying consciousness aligned with divine principles while addressing misaligned behavior through redirection rather than condemnation. When community consciousness collectively focuses on immediate presence, loving awareness, and divine alignment, these patterns multiply through quantum mass creation. Chapter 4. Parenting consciousness. Higher consciousness should parent these children. This parenting paradigm transforms how we understand spiritual leadership and consciousness hierarchy within kingdom communities. Mature parents observe children's behavior without emotional reactivity. They recognize that developmental stages include mistakes, misunderstandings, and immature choices. Rather than becoming emotionally invested in every childish behavior, mature parents maintain loving presence while guiding toward maturity. Paul uses this parenting language extensively. "My little children, of whom I travail in birth, again until Christ be formed in you." Galatians 4:19. He recognizes his role as spiritual parent, helping birth Christ consciousness in those at earlier developmental stages. From our understanding of immediate presence and loving awareness, parenting consciousness requires maintaining divine alignment regardless of surrounding behavior. The divine breath rhythm, inhaling presence, exhaling faith, creates the emotional stability necessary for observing without reactivity. This doesn't mean accepting all behaviors as equally valid. Parents correct children's behavior while affirming their inherent worth. Similarly, higher consciousness addresses misaligned behavior in lower consciousness while affirming the divine nature and potential within every consciousness expression. The parenting approach enables what judgment cannot: actual consciousness elevation. When lower consciousness encounters condemnation, it typically responds with defense, shame, or further separation. But when it encounters loving guidance from higher consciousness operating in divine alignment, it can recognize its own potential for elevation and choose movement toward that higher frequency. End of Part 1. This concludes Part 1 of the Healed Heal, Elevated Consciousness and Quantum Leadership. We've explored how elevated consciousness shepherds lower consciousness through resonance rather than resistance, focusing on desired behavior aligned with divine principles while maintaining the parenting paradigm of loving awareness. In Part 2, we'll dive deeper into the profound principle that behavior observed reflects the curriculum of the observer, seasonal revelation through consciousness recognition, and the quantum analysis process for divine co-creation. If this message resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share with others seeking mature, spiritual leadership. Continue to Part 2 to explore the transformational power of observation without emotion and multidimensional awareness through divine alignment.